But Game 5, with all of their matchups in group play and everything, he said he's very proud that his team is able to clutch up most of the time, right? But he said that he pointed out that just his weakness in uplink, the team's weakness in uplink is just a glaring issue that they need to solve. And I think that's an issue that Elevate can actually go ahead and press on that wound and really try and take advantage of that and force themselves into at least a Game 4, Game 5 type of situation. But I think this should be a really intense matchup here on both sides.
I definitely agree. And I think when it comes down to, like I said, the game type specialties, when it comes down to both these teams, you see Cloud9 heavily struggles when it comes down to uplink. Well, Elevate just happens to be one of their better game types, at least so far throughout Vegas. So to me, I'm curious to see how C9 kind of does, because in the last matchup that I actually casted, TGC stood no chance whatsoever versus that Elevate squad. I mean, they dominated in the hard point. S&D was a quick and easy matchup as well. And then the uplink, it was a little bit closer. TGC started to gain a little bit of life here and there, but Elevate, since that is one of their better game types, is able to kind of close it out. So I am a little bit worried to see how Cloud9 does. They've obviously had a huge problem with uplink as game number 3. So if we see them lose either that hard point or their S&D, or even both, that can be Elevate who automatically has an advantage when it comes down to that 3.
I'm starting to sense a little bit of a trend with Aches and uplink. It doesn't really seem to be it never really seems to be a shining moment for him when the series is uplink, right?
Not at all. Even 100 Thieves, just to name one, right?
100 who?
100 Thieves?
Just kidding.
No, I know it's true. Yeah. Well, we'll see how they do. I'm going to be taking a look through the weapon setups. Reedy, not exactly the weapon of choice. I really hope he does switch. If not, I'll definitely go back and check on him and see what the weapon setups are looking like.
No, let's go ahead and give him the spotlight. I'm really curious to see if he is actually going to run with that in the beginning of the game. It'd be pretty useful looking over mid map if he's going to hop inside of his top security.
He might be messing with us. Who knows? But I am curious to see actually Lacefield, who hasn't actually selected and joined the game yet. He's been kind of swapping between a K-Bar and an OSA, and I think he really is a lot stronger when it comes down to the OSA presence. I mean, the guy's been using that in all the online scrims. He's, to me, probably one of the best OSA players as far as aggression is considered. Overall, awareness as well. I think just overall gun skill, he's insane with the weapon. So kind of unfortunate to see, in my opinion, that he's running rocking with the K-Bar. I like to see him be a lot more aggressive, but going to be swapping over to Reedy, as he does have that longbow for the start of this match.
All right, so look for Reedy to really try and lock down areas around the middle of the map, especially with this hard point being on top of Cube now. That's where the sniper rifle can really come into play. So, it might be a sort of out of meta pick, but it's definitely something that could work here. We've seen the Elevate likes to experiment with their opening breaks quite a bit. We've seen submachine guns coming out on their side. So there's the smoke grenade. He actually can't be spotted. Is able to take him out with the easy headshot onto Assault. Excellent opening strategy there to establish that middle map control and mid-map pressure with his team. But now he has to get aggressive on the objective as his team fails to hold it without him, whiffs a lot of his Glock shots, and now he's stuck rocking that sniper rifle in mid-range engagements.
That's the one unfortunate thing. It wouldn't really surprise me if we see him end up dropping that one. Of course, it is a nice, interesting strategy to see here off the break, Elevate being incredibly crafty, but as far as the points are considered, Assault currently holding this one down. Only 1 kill to his name, but the hard point time definitely going in his favor, but shots starting to come in. Shawnee, the young gun, starting to make a few kills, trying to make a little bit of an impact. The slaying presence, which I really think is good for the Elevate squad. A lot of the slaying presence we talk about for European teams can sometimes lack, and it seems that for this Elevate squad, they really rely heavily on Shawnee. Such a young gun, and he seems to kind of be living up to his title as one of the better slayers in Europe for right now.
Ricky just blowing up the Scarab because he knows he's got to get ready for this rotation. Doesn't want to get killed off that hard point and give the enemy team 125 points for nothing. So, rotation coming in. Reedy smelling blood on the hard point. He's sort of the frontline player right now, but I think he's trying to wait until his other teammates are in a more favorable position to push this hill. So, heads up play by Reedy to be a little patient here, but Ricky still catches him on the cross regardless. Great positioning out of him to find that kill. Now Zed, the aggressor of Elevate at the moment, one of the stronger players this weekend for the team. He's going to be the one to push in for this break. Tags a player up around the corner with the cluster grenade. I think this is a great push, but Zed's going to need some help here shortly.
And it's a push trying to come in from Cloud9, trying to hold the line as Zed, but he ends up dropping, and Cloud9 starting to force their way through. But since this hard point is such a massive one, there's such a lot of area to kind of cover, they're going to hold it down for a short time, but quickly foiled is the side of Elevators. Ricky going to be in a nice little line set, watching here through showers, as he should pick that one up, and it seems that Elevate might actually go ahead and go for the rotation over in Rocks.
Yep, we have 2 players from Elevate on the rotation. That's going to be Watson and Zed. They're both wiped out, however, by Assault's NV4. And Assault, such a huge threat with that weapon class of Assault rifles, and you can see it come into play here. So finding those 2 kills, he's going to see himself get traded by Shawnee, who, alongside Zed, has been a huge threat on this Elevate roster. Catches Aches with a headshot, tries to turn and burn with that hip fire, doesn't really need to. His teammates there to pick it up for him, and now the Cloud9 push should be coming in from just in front of him. You kind of want to see a player pushed up a little bit further in the hard point here, but with him rocking that NV4, he wants to keep that gap a little bit bigger. So the Cloud9 rush is just a little overwhelming for him, and they're able to take the hard point back.
Yeah, C9 doing a good job at just retaking hills. I mean, that 1v1 gunfight that Shawnee was able to win was pretty big. Of course, like you mentioned, the MV4 can't really push up too far, so as soon as they shut him down, it was obviously a good play for C9 to rush forward. Well, Ricky's starting to do pretty well in the slang. We talked about him kind of doing the dirty work. It seems that he's doing that right now for his squad, but really in the slang category. So Aches and Assault finding 2. Aches still looking for a few more, but of course rotations is what's going to be on everyone's minds, as the back helipad spawn is what everyone is going to be coveting. It looks like rotations coming in over toward Commissary, and I believe a few players have dropped. Assault getting the scrap time, and Watson has got to watch his flank because no one's there anymore.
Watson finding himself having to look at 2 different directions and so many different threats surrounding him. He's going to get shut down easily as Lacefield finds the kill. Ricky catches Shawnee by himself as well. And it just looks like Elevate is just they're not together. They're not clicking. Something is off right now. They're not meshing well. Their pushes are always staggered and slow. And Cloud9 is just heavily outslaying them with no competition. I think that we need like a solo carry kind of game out of Zed here if they want any hope of coming back in the game.
Yeah, and I think honestly the scoreboard, I mean, is obviously reflecting of what's going on right now. I mean, C9 is winning every major gun engagement. They were breaking hills like fairly easily. And Elevate's had some good moments here and there. You know, that beginning strategy from Rudy was nice, but in a sense, I mean, it really only awarded him a second or two. I mean, it catches the enemy off guard if anything, but in reality, that strategy doesn't really come out to play. It hasn't really worked out too much in their favor. And C9's like, you know what, you guys have interesting strategies. That's great, but we're going to dominate you when it comes down to the slang. Not exactly personally what I was expecting off of that hot start that Elevate had in their previous game versus TGC, but C9 throwing that by the wayside as they seem to be dominating this one early.
Yeah, this is a pretty abysmal start here if you're Elevate. Cloud9 is absolutely destroying right now. You got one player in position, that's Zed on the hard point. Not too much support though, as he's caught in a gunfight between 2 different Cloud9 players. Looks like they're taking over here. Lots of trading going back and forth, but Assault is going to get the better end of the deal as he's contesting this hard point. One player on the corner, he doesn't really want to try and peek this with an NV4 because he's not entirely sure of what weapon he's going to be greeted with. Whatever it is, it's going to be better than the NV4 at that range. And you can see it here. He gets the team shot though. The rest of his team are there. That's going to be Lacefield helping him out, finding a 2-piece. Excellent team shot and coordination there. Assault knew that he couldn't challenge that alone, and he had his team's support to back him up. Now Lacefield in a strong position to keep the pressure on to Elevate and keep them away from that objective. They're still leading this game by 100 seconds.
And Reedy just got a terrible spawn in some cases when you look at it. I mean, not a terrible spawn when it comes down to maybe getting the scrap points if you can even find this kill. But when it comes down to the next rotation, I mean, they cannot afford to get bad spawns in this particular map. It seems that C9 now getting that exact same one. So Elevate able to kind of wipe the sweat off the brow when it comes down to it. Of course, getting a rotation finally. And I mean, when we talk about that first hill, I mean, it is a very interesting sign whenever C9 holds about 40 out of the 50 seconds that were in that first hill when it's all about contention. I mean, C9 is absolutely destroying and almost 100 points up.
So we have one player in the back corner going on the flank here. It's Ricky right now. Originally it was Assault. Pinch not too successful as we see Elevate's able to get some time and start coming back into this game, but this push that they're making is moving real slow. Ricky's able to get a kill, but someone needs to follow up on it ASAP unless Watson is able to stop it. Aches going to hit the flank instead of attacking head on. See how it works out for him. He catches one Elevate player off guard, but Zed's finding 2 kills regardless. There we go. Team shot. Elevate's able to take Aches down. A great response to Cloud9's push on that hard point as Zed and the rest of Elevate are still able to hold on to this hard point. And like I said, we need to see like a solo carry kind of performance out of Zed here if Elevate wants to come right back. And he's doing just that. Currently on a 4 streak and was able to help net his team a lot of time on that last hard point.
Yeah, and Zed obviously can't do it alone. He's going to have some of his teammates step it up. He's got the rewind. So that could be a gun engagement that could be very, very necessary for them to win, as it seems that Elevate have finally broken that 100-point margin. C9 only up 150 to 109. Rushes coming in. Zed able to find one, trying to find the second as well, but he challenges weak, and Ricky's able to make him pay for it. Watson still lingering, but he ends up dropping shortly after as well. So C9 get a little bit of an overextension as well as a break. So nice plays coming in from C9 yet again as they try to build this lead. But you got to keep in mind, Elevate, while you are trying to get the kills, you got to make sure that you aren't making them spawn out toward helipad. Elevate would be definitely in their worst interest to try that one out.
Watson pushing into the hard point. He's been really quiet so far this game, not contributing a whole lot except for feeding Lacefield streaks and points. And they're seeing just that as he finds a 2-piece. EMP comes out. He's able to stop Assault with, or Reedy with that one. It's Assault that gets the kill onto Reedy, excuse me. So let's take a look at the utility we have on both sides right now. On the side of Elevate, Zed has access to Rewind. On the side of Cloud9, both Aches and Ricky on the verge of getting their payload, and Lacefield will follow soon after. We have Cloud9 just about 50, 60 seconds away from closing out the game, and they already have access. They're going to have access to all of that utility before they even get to that point. It's looking like it's heavily in Cloud9's favor at the moment.
We'll see if Elevate can manage a little bit of a comeback, and we talk about the men to kind of hope to bring that one forward. The slaying needs to be done by Zed. Of course, doing well already so far in this game. Rocks the rewind, and it's exactly back to the same spot he started in, but trying to find the shots. His teammates able to clean that one up, but gets very close and personal.
That was the most
his
disorienting
teammates able to make
fight.
that one happen. Needing to watch that back helipad spawn, but it seems they are going to have that one. So getting some much needed time, and over to the scorecard, I mean, you can kind of see Elevate's doing a great job of kind of bringing this one back, not being too hasty, and making sure that they have those back helipad spawns. That's very, very big for them.
Oh, he didn't hit a single shot right there. Aches is going to hit him with the jump shot and shut him down. Elevate, though, getting most of the time on that hard point, starts putting themselves right back into this game.
But they've got to be aware of that next one over in the middle, because last time it was C9 who got basically every single second of that.
Except for the part that was contested, but yes, I absolutely agree. So taking a look at this, we're seeing Lacefield with his Osa. He's also got access to the MV4, useful at all ranges. If someone pushes him, he presses that triangle button, is able to switch over to that submachine gun AR hybrid that is the OSA, or he can pull out the MV4, hit some long range shots. Now Aches getting in those bottom cube gunfights for him, tags up one on the opposite side. Assault is able to finish the job on to Shani, and Assault, this is exactly where you want Assault with the NV4, is on loading. Such a dangerous position for a player of his caliber and his role for this team. No one can answer to it. Such a difficult chest-high piece of chest-high cover to be shooting from.
I mean, we talk about the number of different players that C9 have as utility. I mean, we talk about, players like Lacefield being just such a great SMG player, such a great, run and gun type of player. But you also have a guy like Assault, who's a great communicator. I mean, his shot doesn't move. And I mean, of course, along with the MV4, which has hardly any recoil whatsoever, definitely kind of increases that. But the man is absolutely dominant. He's currently on a 7 spree. And just like that, C9, before I can even finish my sentence, are going to walk away with game number 1, 250 to 159. It was a valiant effort from Elevate. They had a few interesting strats that, in the end, just didn't work out fully. Like I said, C9 able to walk away with the W.
That was tragic. If you're Elevate, that's not a great way to start the series, and we saw what happened previously when they started off the series with, what was a forfeit, and then a very disappointing Search and Destroy loss. Kind of tilted them, and they just weren't playing so hot. They weren't able to bounce back from that. So I'm curious to see if they can get their head in the game here. They understand they're playing for top 6. We're at a huge tournament here for MLG Las Vegas, and if you're an Elevate fan, you want to see them really turn things around here. And they definitely need to come on and steal that uplink later on. I think they definitely have the potential to do that, so that's something they got to keep in the back of their mind. But Search and Destroy is also where they need to show up.
That's for sure. But I'm also curious to see when it comes down to Scorch. We talk about the amount of B hits that are going to be kind of coming out. I'm curious to see if the aggression actually gets matched,